All right, so we're back with another Sports Break NBA segment. I have Vlad here again, our lead NBA correspondent here at the K-Han TV studios. And our topic right now is going to be the top of the Western Conference, which is looking to be three-headed monster with the Warriors, the Clippers, and the Spurs all doing very well to start the season. Vlad, the Warriors, it's been a story all summer. They added Kevin Durant. They're 14-2 now. They just went above the Clippers after the Clippers lost to the Pistons yesterday, somehow. And let's talk about the Warriors. A lot's been made about them not having the depth this year or the interior defense to go to the finals. And people are thinking that the Clippers or the Spurs can knock them off and prevent that finals rematch that everyone's expecting. What do you think of the Warriors? How have they looked so far, and what do you see from them going forward?
Well, outside of the first week of the season, they've been really great. I mean, they started off slow. They lost to the Spurs opening night. Then they lost to the Lakers maybe 3 days later. But after that, they've just been reeling off wins. They're a great team. No way around it. I mean, they have so much talent. You have 2 past MVPs on one team, Curry and Durant. You have Klay Thompson. You have Green. And you have a pretty good system in place with Steve Kerr. So, I mean, you're going to win a lot of games throughout the year. But like you said, it's going to come down to the playoffs. It's going to come down to can they get, how good their defense is going to be, how good their rebounding is going to be. And right now, there are some holes in this team that other teams could take advantage of, especially a team, like you said, San Antonio, the Clippers, and maybe a dark horse team out there, maybe, possibly. But there are weaknesses in this team, but they are super talented, so it's hard to really say that anybody can really beat them 100%.
Well, before I ask you for your pick on who's going to win the West, which is really early, there could be injuries or God knows what, or trades.
Of course.
But as of right now, the Clippers and the Spurs are tied at second place, both 14-3. Clippers got off to a hot start. They lost a couple of close games, one to the Thunder and the recent one to the Pistons, which knocked them out of the top spot in the West. We'll start with the Clippers first. It's the same team. Everyone knows. They've been trying to go at it with this team. They always get hurt at some point late in the season. But do you see this team, if healthy, being able to knock off the Warriors? Simple question.
Well, honestly, no. But I do think they're one of the few teams that has a chance. I mean, there's only 3 or 4 teams that legitimately have a chance. So, and they're one of them. They have talent. They've had the same talent, like you said, for a number of years. But these guys are very good and very skilled players. Chris Paul, tremendous Hall of Fame player. Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan inside. That's something that the Warriors are definitely going to, feel something when you have that type of interior presence inside. And they have Doc Rivers is a championship caliber coach. He's won a championship in this league before. He knows how to get it done in the NBA. So they're one of the teams that definitely has a chance. Do I see them doing it? No, but that's just because of the past Clippers' unsuccess in the playoffs, basically.
I guess. I mean, I know we're going to disagree on this, obviously. Not that I'm biased towards the Clippers on this show.
Of course not.
No, I'm going to be completely unbiased. But I think the Clippers are really a strong team. I've been a Clipper fan when they've not been a strong team, and I'll tell you when I don't think they're going to have a chance. But I really think this team is comparable to the Warriors, if not better, and the only thing that's prevented them from going to the finals in the past few years has been injuries. And they haven't really had a chance to really take it to the Warriors in the playoffs without being hurt. And these playoff losses you speak of to the Rockets, it's mostly been injuries. Because they beat the Spurs, and they also were the last team to beat the Warriors before the Warriors lost to the Cavs. So, yeah, I know you're saying that's a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Different coach. But I really think the Clippers are a stacked team. They're the prototypical team. They've got balance, they've got size, they've got shooting, they've got stars, they've got Chris Paul, they've got Blake Griffin. There's no reason why it's not going to be a really close series if they play the Warriors. I think it would basically go down to the wire, just like it did last time. The last time they played in a series, it was 2 years ago, right? Went to 7 games, and the Clippers barely squeaked it out at the end. And I think it's a toss-up. Honestly, I would take the Clippers. A lot of their game depends on shooting. If J.J. Redick is on, if Blake Griffin is making 18-foot jumpers, it really opens up the game for them. And when they're not, they really struggle. So it's kind of hit or miss. When it comes down to one game and it's game 6 at home or game 7 and your shots aren't falling, there's really nothing you can do. The numbers, you're just not going to win every game. But that being said, I have high hopes for this Clipper team if they stay healthy. But I want to move on to the Spurs, who've also been rattling off wins nonstop. 9 in a row now after a bit of a slow start. And without Tim Duncan this year, but they don't even look to have lost a beat at all. Do you think it matters that they lost Duncan, or are they just the same team?
Well, I mean, first of all, of course, losing a player of Duncan's caliber is going to hurt them, but at the same time, Duncan, was not the same Tim Duncan of the, let's say 4, 5, 6 years ago. I mean, he's an older player, and he knew that it was time to call it a career. He's had a great career, one of the greatest players of all time. But the Spurs system is so good, and Greg Popovich is such a great coach, that they could, even with a loss like Tim Duncan, still have the players like Kawhi Leonard, Manu Ginobili, LaMarcus Aldridge, just, Danny Green, players of, championship caliber players that have done it before, been in high pressure moments and have come through in the clutch. So yes, losing Tim Duncan hurts, especially in the interior, because he protected the paint incredibly, but now they are a different type of team, with Leonard leading the way. He's such a great perimeter defender. The Spurs have a legitimate chance with Greg Popovich to still make it back to the finals.
Okay, well, listen. You say championship caliber players. Yes, they have Kawhi Leonard, who has been on a finals team, finals MVP, and they've added Pau Gasol, a little bit older now. But a problem I saw last year with LaMarcus Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard also taking a starting role, like you say now, they couldn't get past the Thunder. They really struggled. They didn't look very good. And they looked, when they didn't know what to do, they kind of reverted to ISO ball, which is very un-Spurs-like.
Absolutely.
The question is, the playoffs will roll around again. The Spurs will be there. Can they, with Kawhi and LaMarcus Aldridge being the star players, still compete with the Clippers and the Warriors?
I say they can compete. Now, can they defeat the Warriors or the Clippers? Hard to say. Can they compete with those teams? Can they challenge them? Could they take them to distance? Absolutely. But can they beat them in a 7-game series? Hard to say at this point because, as you said, last year they didn't end the season that well. Lost 3 straight games to end the season against the Thunder. That does not bode well for them going forward. But, clearly this is not the same team as last year. Hopefully you would think that there's some growth. Remember, it was LaMarcus Aldridge's first year with the team. This is his second year. Maybe things have picked up a little bit. Now that Duncan's not there, he's clearly the man inside the post for them that they go to. Their go-to guy inside. So that's something to consider going forward. But they're going to win as far as if they do win. They're going to go as far as Kawhi Leonard takes them because he is the star on that team. He is their best player. He's the perimeter guy. It's a perimeter league now in this league today. So as far as he goes, if he plays like a championship caliber player, like a superstar player, up there with some of the best players in the league, they have a legitimate chance to do it. If not, they probably won't.
Okay, well, I got to wrap up this segment. So, early prediction, the Western Conference, it's going to be one of those 3. It's got to be. I mean, we have outside dark horses, Memphis Grizzlies, great on defense. Russell Westbrook could take over a game at any time. Sure. But it's probably going to be one of the 3. You want to give us a pick?
Sure. Early prediction. I don't want to sound like just following the herd, but I gotta go stick with the Warriors. They're the most talented team in the league. They have the most. They have the past 2 MVPs basically on their team, and I'm picking them early on.
All right. Well, if you ask me, I got to go with the Clippers. I don't think Kawhi is ready to lead on offense yet. He's a great defensive player. I don't see him carrying a team to the finals. And the Warriors, I don't see the depth, the interior defense. I don't think they're going to pull it off either. I think the Clippers will be in the finals this year. But it is early. Many things could change. Warriors could make a trade. Clippers could get hurt. And God knows what else. So that's all for now. We'll be back with more Sports Break NBA segments in the near future. Thank you.